now. Mile High Minute, number one blog in the universe today, episode 3 with just Kapri Bibbs, man. Appreciate y'all for joining us.
Yes, sir.
And let's get right into it, man. How you doing? How's your day going?
Man, everything's going great. Blessed. Happy to be able to tune in with everybody. Get this podcast rocking, talk about some Rams, talk about everything going on right now. So,
yes, sir. Let's get it going. So, first off, let's talk about that San Diego State game. I think everyone kind of knew it was a tough start to the season, so they went in underdogs. I think they were about 6-point underdogs going into that game. My quick recap: Dupree looked nice, 103 yards rushing. The whole running game's been nice. That's been the strong point for the Rams this whole season so far. Winfield, I'll say this, man, with the Matt Mummy change, they had two. One point I did like is they had 2 solid runs to Dupree, and then boom, they hit Winfield deep down. It did get behind early. It was like 14-0 early, but that touchdown did look nice. It was 7-14 at that point. My big takeaways from this one, bro, is the overall management with Mummy versus Norvell calling the plays. I do think it did look a little smoother as far as the overall game management because they only had one penalty. It was a costly one because it was supposed to be a turnover, but the game was a lot smoother. I'll say that. Where they failed was the complementary football. The defense struggled this week, which was surprising compared to the previous 3-4 games. Defense was the strong suit, but this game defense was pretty bad. They weren't able to get any sacks or turnovers, and I think the big problem with this team is just complementary football. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just defense been rolling the whole year, and then now the offense there were little points to get, and now the defense can't play.
Chemistry, little off kilter chemistry right there.
Right, but Owen Long had 16 tackles. I think he had like 10 in the first quarter or something crazy. Man. What was your thoughts?
I got to chime in right there and just say like the Owen Long situation is amazing. Like the 16 tackles a game, 16 tackles, sorry, but like his tackle average, all that. But what points out to me about that is too, which is also like just a crappy ordeal, is that your defense is always on the field. Defense is always on the field. So I mean, like, God forbid defense has a bad day. That's what it comes down to. Right. Like if the defense holds up, which the defense has in these previous games, which I would say like in teams and a lot of these college teams are capable of putting up 40 or 30 points. But like in a lot of these situations, we are calling good games. I think Ty is calling good games, good blitzes. Do I think people are in the right positions all the time? I don't think so. I do not think so. I don't think that's the case. I don't think when we talk about like a star receiver, like Napier from San Diego State, when you're watching a guy burn a guy, like I get it. Call those blitzes, call those everything, but make sure when you're putting these guys in one-on-one situations with these blitzes that these other guys know what they're doing too as well, so you can have Lamondre Joe over the top of Napier while you're calling that blitz. Like I don't think we end up with the safety one-on-one with their best receiver or one of their scorching receivers. I just don't like those matchups. I don't like those ideal situations. When these teams are looking to expose you, you're almost even putting your players in bad positions. You know what I mean? To do things that like that's not their, forte. When I would rather see you blitz a couple guys off the edge that's like a safety and then leave your DBs more in coverage. Like your guys who are used to covering those type of speedy guys and stuff along that nature. So
yeah, I like to bring up where they're at on the field. Are they in the right place? Because I think why they kept hitting us over the top was our defense. We're blitzing these dudes from like it felt like 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, and it's like, man, no
Yeah,
wonder we can't get to the quarterback, and no wonder they're getting beat over the top because yeah, we're rushing 6, 7, 8 dudes, but when you can't get to the quarterback effectively, because you're too far off the line, then boom, and they're in single coverage outside, like you were talking about. Like that's easy.
yeah.
So
I'm
I
not,
don't
and
know.
I'm honestly, I'm not going to take away from the fact that we don't not like those matchups in football. Like with the proper person in those coverages, you like those odds. You know, like if I have a better corner that's matched up against one of these receivers that I know that I've watched in practice, constantly be disruptive on the deep ball, knowing that they're going to keep their poise, what I'm saying, downfield when the ball's in the air, things along that nature. Like I'm looking for those guys to be in those positions all the time, especially when I'm calling blitzes and things like that. And I just don't think right now the way we're calling some things, not that they're even bad calls. I just think that guys we're not putting guys in the proper position. It's just like small little niche things. They're getting to the quarterback. As I'm looking at replays of the game, like the quarterback is letting go the ball and throwing it deep because it is a one-on-one situation and that is his only option before he gets hit. But now when you're looking at that same situation, you want Lamondre Joe, you want CJ Blocker, all these other DBs that that you're giving the NIL money to, like, to stop receivers. Like, these are the guys you want that's in coverage when the ball is flying deep in the air. You know that they only have two options or maybe a second or two to throw the football. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want your DBs more in those type of situations. Like, hey, we're running zero blitzes. Like, I want my safeties in there. Like, y'all get in there, like, boom, boom. DBs, y'all 1-on-1 for a second and a half, 2 seconds, maybe. You know what I mean? Before this quarterback is going to have to make a decision where he's going to let the ball go. DBs, make sure you're in a great position. And these guys they're looking like they're in the right position, but when the ball starts traveling down the field, you see the separation. You see that these guys aren't keeping up. And I'm just like, wow, like, great play call. Wrong guy to have in that position. You get what I'm saying? Like, the ball traveling in the air, he's looked like he's in great coverage, but as you see the ball continue to travel, you see the distance begin to create that you're like, okay, all right, this is bad. Might be a catch right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, great scheme, great, initial coverage, but the finish of the play matters. And I think that's when you have to put your better players in position. So, like, I don't really hate a lot of things that Colorado State is doing, as a whole, but you can see where there's a small and minor lack in putting guys in a proper position, rather than this is all we got. No, like, you need to look at all you have and put what you have in the right position. You know what I mean? Like, that's also a part of the game too, rather than just calling your plays on defense or calling your plays on offense. You know what I mean? I like sometimes what I even see from the defensive line, like, they shift out different fronts a lot. You can see, like, this is more of a pass rush setting defense in that scheme that he's running. Then you have, like, when they get in the red zone, they have more of a heavier front where they call in the bigger guy. Like, I like those things, but you need to do that with your DBs as well. You need to do that. You need to do that when you have players that are structured and catered to certain skill sets, and you're noticing that through practice and different drills. Like, now go out and put them in positions to thrive in those areas. I think the best coaches like that are like the Bill Belichick's, Andy Reid's, all these other guys. Those guys know how to put guys in proper positions. Like, and you get a lot of coaches that want to mimic their coaching style, but, like, that is the most key component, is knowing the strong and the best capabilities out of your players that you have on staff. You know what I mean? Already, not always, hey, we don't have this right now. Like, no, sometimes now you have to cater your whole coaching style around what you have. And,
Right.
I think that's a thing.
And I think another thing they're struggling with, and I don't want to use this as an excuse, but the injuries are crazy. Like the no guy Greg Jones, Warren, defensive line, like it's really affecting this team. But what I don't like to see is I feel like the coaching staff's kind of leaning on that as an excuse
Mm-hmm.
a little too
Yeah.
much for the poor play, and that's what I don't like. But it is a valid reason for why CSU is struggling a lot this year. Um, but yeah, man. Any other final thoughts on that game, or you want to go ahead and talk
Yeah.
about Fresno a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, watching that game, you obviously see like where CSU as a standpoint lacks at. And you can see it's not in the players or maybe not necessarily always in the coaching staff, but maybe cohesiveness. You know what I mean? That we're missing out of that team right now is like even from the coaches to players, players to coaches. You know what I mean? Like that has to be transparent. Like, hey, like look, we're not putting you in those situations right now. You're not looking good in those situations right now. We need this guy in, so you don't mind rotating if we get in this play style right here. I don't care if your name is such and such. Like, you know what I mean? If you're not doing good right here, we need this guy in to do this. We need this guy in to do that. I hope everybody's on the same page. You know what I mean? Like, then you have those staples in your offense, like BFN, that should have never really moved. You know what I mean? Like, you should have left that there in the staple, to say, like, yeah, now we have this guy who can do it all. Like, no, you won't have to move if you do it all. Like, BFN ran the ball well as a quarterback. He threw the ball well as a quarterback. You don't start off the year switching him in and out of position. You know what I mean? You leave him in and let him orchestrate and show, what it is to be a complete player in the system that you're running as well, knowing that he's that talented. Not finding ways to get him off the field. That's not what you do as a coaching staff. When you have a guy that you see kind of does a lot of things, like you keep that guy in, you start rotating and moving things around him. Around that is your core offense. As you see, like now we're looking for pieces. Okay, you find number 19, integrate them. You find, you got your Laniers, you have your KJ's on the outside, number 11, number 8. You got have a bunch of different Levon, Brown. You got a bunch of different pieces that you can use inside of this offense, and we're not even going to get started on the running backs. So I just think that's a thing that they can focus on more, and especially going into this next week. You know what I'm saying? And let San Diego be in a pass, and them having another opportunity again to go out in conference play, be able to show some grit, show some grind, go out there and play hard. Like, I think that's going to be the thing that they address. And I think hopefully in a building that they're seeing at this crunch time that they need to put their best pieces in order, that they need to put the best available people out there, no matter about ego, no matter about what they told this or anything. Like, if whoever is performing, like Levon Brown, he should be out there. Number 8 should be out there. You know what I mean? We're talking about it from a target to reception standpoint. He's catching the ball every time. He's making contested catches. That's what you need right now out of receiver. You need guys that's going to do the right thing. We don't care how much, what I'm saying, they did in camp. We don't care about how much they like. No, who's doing this in the game? Who's giving me results right now? Those guys are getting in the game. They're getting touches. We're getting them the ball. We're finding a way to feed them the ball. That's what we need to do. 25 and 2 need to be in the game at the same time. Sometimes. I'm not saying all the time, but it benefits them. You know what I mean?
Right.
To be able to bring Justin Marshall off the bench and have him return some kicks with 25. Get them early touches in the game. Why? I don't understand why Justin J. Marsh is sitting on the bench for so long, and then you're coming in and wanting him to perform at a high level. Put him on kick return. Let him return some kicks along with 25 if you aren't going to start him because of Dupree. Neither one of them. If you have a whole boatload, like, you need to start moving the pieces, moving the train in a way where you can get everybody going and feeding everybody, so you can have things moving cohesively, so you can know that there's a mindset beyond them that's being put into the fact that, hey, this guy deserves the ball.
Right.
And then you're letting the rest of your staff know, all right, if you're doing this with the ball, we're going to find a way to get it in your hands. We're going to put
Right.
you on kickoff return. We're going to put you on punt return. You know what I mean? Like in practice, oh, you're the best guy. You're averaging this amount of yards. Here, you know what? Go return some punts. We want you returning punts now because we need to find a way to get our team rolling. But you're seeing them leave 25 back there. You're seeing them, put a little bit of 10 or number 3 back there to return punts. That's not going to really get your team going right now. You need to get your guys the ball that are making big plays consecutively in games. Put 25 back there and let him return the punts. That's an extra touch. That's an extra touch for him. That's an extra little bit of wiggle room for him to get comfortable in the game. Not sitting him out for the first 7-8 minutes of the game, and
Then
then
he
throwing
kills
him
his
in like,
confidence. Yeah.
go run in there and give me this play. Give me this good looking play.
You need him in the game. I feel you.
Like we got to just fix that. And I think that's just a total recap of San Diego State as well, and moving into the next game that I feel like they need to address. Like I don't think Fresno's a pushover at all by any means. And they talked about their combining record of the last winning teams are 8-19.
They won 5 in a row, coming off 5 wins in a row right now, 2 conference wins. I did want to make one last point. I noticed they didn't put Bullock in for San Diego State, which I think helped the offense move more fluid. But I still would like to see him just maybe throw him out a receiver, or just don't do it the way they were doing it.
Honestly, tell you the truth, when you have a guy like him, I feel like they haven't integrated him in the proper way.
True.
And especially if you want to bring him in, I don't think that's a package for quarterback. I don't think that's just what that is. I think you do bring him out, and you should have brought him in with BFN and ran the option plays,
right?
Ran some RPOs that had some passes in them.
Right. No, like, run up the middle.
Like, why not run them with the ball and throw RPO, sucker screens on the outside and stuff like that? Give him the option to hold on to the ball or throw it. You know what I'm saying? For either a pass downfield or just a little small, you know what I mean? Little out route or something like that. That's a way to keep a quarterback in. That's a way to keep your main quarterback in. Like, that's a way to but to completely dismantle, I don't think any good system that we've seen in the NFL, any good coaches. I've been a part of some great coaching staffs, Adam Gase's, Gary Kubiak's, I've been inside of air raid to, regular zone schemes. Like, these guys know how to integrate when they get another dual threat quarterback or whatever it is. They know how to put them, all 3 of them, in the backfield and run a play. You know what I'm saying? Without taking your main guy out. Like, they know how
Shanahan in our life.
Exactly, because you keep the energy in the game. Like, everyone knows that. You keep the energy inside of those white lines. Like even if you get certain players that have that energy inside of those white lines, you may not think they're that good to you. You may not. But if that energy matches them inside of those white lines and you know how to harness it, that is really your job as a coach. Like, it is to bring the proper energy from proper positions or whatever it is and skill set to what you're trying to build in your quote unquote scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what like people have to learn how to do as a coach rather than just running their scheme. Like, no, that there are pieces and people and pieces that fit into these certain systems. You know what I mean? And you have to find them. And I think Colorado State's had them. Like, I've been inside the building with them. I know they have them. But, it has to be.
He's a great recruiter. Recruiting's great. It's always top 3, top 4 in the Mountain West. They're going off on Twitter about that today.
Yeah, man, it's just about that alone is about being able to put people in the proper places, and I think that's the thing as a coach. And they have to take that step forward in doing that, especially while they still have the time, to address the issue. They still have time to make a bowl game. They still have time to, do a lot of these things. I think it's just time for them to do them. And, not wait for any type of scrutiny or anything from anybody. It needs to be just that alone. Hey, like, you're not performing. I've thrown you 4 or 5 deep balls. I'm benching you.
Right.
I'm benching you. You know,
Well,
like every time, like we're like it can't be that. You know what? It's the best we got. No, it's not. You know, like it can't be. Like especially when you got people on the sideline waiting to get their opportunities and they're not getting them. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
go give some other people some chances that are showing you like in practice and other things that they can get this job done. Like, don't try to feel so stranded, that just because you said this is the best player in the beginning, that this is what we have to stick with. Like, no,
Mhm.
let's keep moving around. Let's keep finding guys that's doing the best, and show that you're trying to put the best pieces together and you're trying to do the best things rather than watching the same mistakes and watching the same things happen and guys
Yeah.
being out of position. So,
Well, Norvell's still here. I think a lot of fans were surprised or a little bit upset that he's still here after especially the last two performances. But I think it really just comes down to probably the buyout and realistically, what good does it do besides maybe spark a little energy to the team if he does get let go? I think it's pretty obvious that he's probably not going to return next year. But I guess I've kind of cooled down as far as maybe you do let him finish the season out. And I do appreciate the change because I think the offensive management was a little better. And like you said, I mean, although the season it feels lost, they're 1-4. They still could make a bowl game. Realistic, you could really still make a Mountain West championship if some things go your way. Obviously, that's not
right.
likely,
I mean,
but
they will have to win out because I mean
right,
now
you have to win out.
they're
Yeah,
down one in conference. They can come flat out and ball out. This option is still open. And like you have to be able to pay attention to that in the football season and know like
right.
that's how really long the football season is. And as we feel like the season's been long, like granted it isn't the NFL, so we'll be over a lot sooner than that.
Already a
But
third of the way there.
yeah, but like there's still a long way to go. Like it's still 6-7 weeks left in the season that are
Right.
important. So like that's a long time to
Yeah.
stay locked in and stay focused, like to keep your head in like where it's supposed to be, especially if you can start rolling in some wins and you can't like don't talk about the people who are already on win streaks. They're trying to maintain theirs and keep that energy and keep that, vibration going throughout that building. So like we got to be able to get that in ours and, step out and do the right thing.
Right.
So
Right. I just realized I put the wrong score for one of the games, so I had to fix that. But anyways, Fresno State 5-1. They only lost to Kansas first game of the season. They're 6.5 point favorites in Fort Collins. They won five in a row. They barely squeaked by Nevada, 20-17, and then they squeaked by Hawaii in Hawaii, 23-21. EJ Warner, Kurt Warner's son, 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So, not I mean, he can throw touchdowns, but he throws a lot of picks as well. They got a running back, Donaldson, 382 rushing yards. Um, how are you feeling about this game? Obviously, they're underdogs. Fresno's looking good. This is going to be a tough matchup, but um, I don't think it's impossible. I mean, Nevada
it's never
isn't
been.
that great. Nevada isn't that great, and they barely squeaked by them, 3 points. So I think it's possible. It's going to be a tough matchup, but what are your thoughts looking at this game? What do you think CSU needs to do to win this one? Yeah,
Yeah, no, I don't think any of these games that we've been in have not been winnable, including this one. I think it goes right back to again what we talked about earlier, and that's just making sure that we're checking our boxes. And this game, we're addressing the one problem that we had last game. Like something new showed that like showed differently from last game. All right, offense clicked a little bit better. All right, now like our defense, like okay, like let's make sure this is in order. On offense, like like let's open it up a little bit more now. Like Jackson, he's been in this second week now. Now this is the third week. Actually a week and a half because he came in the middle of a game. You know what I mean, or at the end of one, shall I say? And now he got a full start last week, and now he gets another one here. Open up the offense, throw some balls down the field, let them stand tall in that pocket, get them out there quick, get the receivers out there, and let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's act like we know what we're doing now. Like that's what it is. I think that's a sense of urgency. If they come out with that, I think they can actually get this game. I think they can take Fresno, but that has to be the energy. That has to be like the way they come out from the very beginning. So
Right. Yeah, I think if we can get like a turnover or two on defense to help out the offense, play some complementary football, maybe get a sack or two, get some pressure with the D line, I think that's really going to
I
help
don't
the
think that's ever
offense.
been a problem. I think they always find a way. They get to the quarterback sometimes. Sometimes they don't.
They just need to
But
close it though. They need to
yeah,
close
like
it.
I think it all just needs to add up. It all needs to make sense. Everything needs to make sense. Like it looked like it was supposed to make sense versus San Diego, but like I said, like every time you seen them getting those one-on-ones, like once you seen like, okay, oh, it's a one-on-one, and then you're like, oh, it's a one-on-one. Like you don't want to feel like that. Like you know what I
Right.
mean? Take that feeling away. Like we were good when the play opened up. We thought we called a good play, and then till the one bad thing happened that you knew could possibly happen out of the situation, like, and then it doesn't look good the way because you knew you didn't prepare for it that way. Now let's prepare for it. We don't have to call the defense any differently. Just put guys in different positions. You know what I mean? To be in those positions, like I think those are the like type of corrections like now that need to be made so they can take on Fresno and potentially get that win. So
Right. I think if they control the ball and start early, don't. I think the big problem with San Diego State is we got behind so quick. It was already 14-0
mm,
at the end of the first, and it's like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like now we're playing catch up ball the whole game. So if we could just start early, run the ball, control the ball, open it up a little bit, like you said, play complementary football, I think we have a chance. You think 6.5? You think any predictions? You think they cover? Or,
they win by 6.5.
Fresno 6.5 point favorite. That's what it is right now.
Yeah, I think either way, I think it'll be a closer game. I don't think
It's the issue
CSU
covers.
rolls over. Especially at the last week. I'm just hoping they come out. They understand that even now it's conference play. Like this, it only gets tougher from here. Like everything that you need to do needs to be way more tightened. Like if you thought you were tight before, tighten it up even more. And as long as that mindset is instilled, like you know, I think they just gotta come with it. It's frozen on here. Yeah. But either way, why Big Dog? I think he froze. Yeah. Yeah, man. On the same topic, I hope CSU continues to prosper. I hope they continue to do their thing. I think this game is going to be one of those ones. I think it's going to be one of those things that CSU has to tighten up and they got to fight. And I think that's the only real way they truly can come out. They could truly come out on top and end the season, the way they want to and rattle off some wins, put some wins together, start streaking it out. So I definitely want that for them. Definitely want that for those players too as well. Mile High Minute not back yet. So I think in the meantime, we definitely chime in, you know, talk about a little bit about that Broncos win. Broncos went out and caught the dub. Last minute, fended off a Hail Mary pass in the last seconds. AJ Brown with the infamous baby cradle in the end zone on Devontae Smith. You know, like I love the NFL, man. Love the NFL. There's always some good games in there. I respect the guys that go out there and sacrifice a lot to be out there. So definitely a beautiful game out here. I don't know where my guy is. Yeah, he said he's coming back. Coming back, y'all. Yeah. Jeez, but I know y'all see the headlines, everything we talking about. We talking about Diddy 4-year sentence. You know, a lot of people coming to his side, saying he's innocent. Some people saying he's guilty. He should have got more time. You know, it's a lot of things we're gonna continue to cover. You know, like the CU game as well. That's not talk about none of Colorado's teams again, not getting a win over the past weekend. No dubs out of the state of Colorado at all. Man. Oh, but you know what? That's cap. That's cap. Never won. So that's cap. Definitely got my hat on. But Denver definitely had a win. So, but we're talking about collegiately. CU drop one to TCU. Air Force loses to Navy. Obviously, like it's getting rough. It's getting rough. You know, we're not getting any updates on Northern Colorado. We don't know if Northern Colorado won or not. But I'm guessing they lost too because nobody talking about it. Nobody talking about it. I hope these guys dump some more money into Greeley, into that system. They got to have a little football team out there in Colorado. Up there in the Greeley, in northern Colorado. Uh-oh. Man. And also, too, I hope we covering a lot on Denver artists while I'm at it, while we got the time. I want to shout out AP. I want to shout out Trev Rich. You know, also back in Chicago. Shout out What About Mars?
God.
Yeah, man. What's good? Welcome back.
Bro,
Yeah, man.
I'm
Shout out
at
What About Mars? Shout out Savo. Shout out Heartbreak Kid. Shout out SUB the rapper. You know, everybody continue to grind, do their thing. You know, out here on the music tip.
hey, my bad, bro. I'm at
Welcome back,
Metro.
Brody. Welcome back.
I'm at Metro, never doing this from Metro again. The Wi-Fi.
Uh,
Anyways, I appreciate you for holding it down there for a second.
no, that's all good, brother.
So we're talking about the Fresno game. I think we pretty much wrapped it up there. I'll say they cover. I ain't gonna predict a win. Just not very confident, but I'll say they keep it within 7. That's I'm gonna go with that. I think CSU plus 6.5. Don't bet, but that's my opinion. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's a low scoring. We'll say 20-30. I'll say I'm gonna say CSU 21, Fresno 20. I'll just go out on a limb and say that they win by 1. They get back in the winning column, and at least we feel a little better. We got the dub. That's all I'm going.
What if I say I'm gonna go 28-34 CSU?
I like it. I like it.
I'm gonna go 28-34.
All right, man. Okay, so big hip hop announcement: Cash Money versus No Limit. That versus, man. Shout out. You know what I woke up to? Nick Cannon tagging me on Instagram, tagging my high minute. That was one. That was dope. I appreciated that. It was God. But what you think, man? Cash Money No Limit. Did you see that announcement?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Cash Money, No Limit. Man, what we talking about?
Who you got, or did you
Come
listen
on
to
now.
either Cash Money?
It's not even like I'm not even trying to be disrespectful or nothing. But like
Right.
Cash Money, come on, man. We talking about Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj. We can stop right there.
Boys.
I ain't gonna lie, those three names alone just held down the last 2 generations.
Right. The only person, respectfully, that I know of No Limit is Master P. There's probably some other ones that I'm missing, but
They had their time. They had their time. In the 99s, 1998, like very early 2000, 2001, 2002. But we talk about after that, we talking about the emergence of Lil Wayne. We talking about the emergence of Drake, Nicki Minaj, that whole wave of rappers they had running through Cash Money, even if it was Lil Twist and all them. Like
Mhm.
they all had they ran music. And when Lil Wayne needed to do it by himself, he did it by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like until he found his Drake, till he found his Nicki Minaj. I remember Nicki Minaj on the first ever track she ever got on. I remember when I first heard her, I'm like, man, who is this? I'm Nicki
Yeah, man,
Minaj, this Lewinsky, Nicki LeBeau. I'm like, who the heck is this?
they had the 2010s in the chokehold and the 2000s, really.
What? Like I'm talking about that whole little. Even you talking about Cash Money back to Gator Boots to Juvenile, like
BG,
Juvenile and them was still
BG, the Hot
no,
Boys.
that was a part of the same era. And Juvenile and them Hot Boys had the game on Smash. That's what influenced Chicago. I feel like I think
Yeah,
the
for sure.
early New Orleans scenes from the Hot Boys influenced Chicago first. We talking about with guns and all of that. That's when everybody became like Hot Boys because a bunch of killing was going on in New Orleans. Like if you kill somebody,
That's true.
all you have to do is leave. In 30 days, they acquit you for the murder. Like like you can't even be
New
tried
Orleans is
anymore.
crazy.
You can't even be tried anymore for the murder. So people were just killing people, running to Texas for 30 days. Now if 30 days pass, you can come back home and walk the streets. Nobody can try you for your murder. Like the Hot Boys era plagued Chicago. I watched my uncles. My uncles like
Mhm.
18, 17, 20 at the time. Like all they were listening to on the lemonade. I got the block on five. Like to the
Yeah,
moment like riding around the block listening to that. Like No Limit. No Limit had their thing, but it wasn't on the even on the Hot Boys level. You're not even gonna talk about all the Cash Money. Like
right. Well,
it,
and that's the way I'm looking at it is like if we include Drake and Nicki and the new era of Lil Wayne, like this ain't even fair. So I have a feeling it's more so just probably gonna be like the Hot Boys era. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll make it a little
come on
more
now, they
fair
gonna throw
when
they
those
gonna
first
throw
come.
they gonna throw them in there. You think if they don't want like this is a part of their legacy?
No, yeah, if they throw Drake
It's
in
like
there, it's
it's like
over. It's not even close.
If Lil Romeo would have went crazy, no, like and
Right,
played the like you would have claimed Lil Romeo too,
for sure. You were right. That's fair.
like, but
So
you
you
ain't
think
gonna
Drake pulls up? You think Drake shows up to the verses?
if you show up to the verses, who you gonna be mad at?
You can't be mad. Like
This is a
they
part
gonna
of our
take.
lineage. Like, what are you talking about?
That's the easy dub. I think that's automatic if Drake shows up.
That's kind of mess. It's kind of messed up. Like if you want to talk about it, like it's like Rock Nation. Like you like Rock Nation verse.
I don't know.
You could
Hmm?
technically bring out Kanye West.
Oh, for sure,
That's
for
like
sure.
I
That's over.
win.
Yeah,
Jay-Z bring out Kanye West. I win. It's automatic dub. We don't even
man.
want to get started on other ones.
Did you like the other verses with Dipset and Julox or Jeezy versus Gucci Mane?
Yeah, I liked all of those. I think those is definitely
Those,
pivotal. Like even though I still think the No Limit versus Cash Money is still pivotal for the culture too, because it
yeah,
needs to show the growth of the culture. It needs to show like how kind of like this grandfathering kind of thing kind of worked, even from Lil Wayne expanding out, all of that into Young Money from Cash Money. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like all
Hey,
that.
shout out Trev Rich. He was on Cash Money at one point. Shout out Trev Rich, man.
Yeah, I remember that, bro. I remember that when I first came to Denver, he was a part of Cash Money.
He was, yeah. That was around the same time y'all won the Super Bowl. That's right.
Yeah, that's still my dog, man. Shout out Trav Rich, man.
So who? I'm just real. Asking you because I really don't know who else besides Master P is on No Limit that could Fiend. I think Fiend. Like who else could compete? You think with Cash Money?
Well, who?
Who else on No Limit can compete with Cash Money? I think 'cause obviously they got Master P, but I think they got Fiend. I don't. I'm gonna be real, I love hip hop, but
No.
yeah,
Let's just play the songs. There's gonna be a lot of shit talking going on. You know what I'm
it's gonna be
saying? But
fun. Yeah,
everybody already know who won this before. The coach already know who won this before. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Like I'm like not gonna act like I'm not privy to the culture. Like nah, gang. Like nah, it is what it is. Like you know what
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like and I can be and yeah, I want to see the verses. Yeah, I want to see it all because it's all classical music. No Limit made classical music,
Right.
timeless music. You know what I'm saying?
It's
But
good for the culture.
yeah, Cash Money and Young Money has been doing it longer, been having way bigger of a stamp on the game than No Limit. And but you gotta
No limit.
respect No
Yeah.
Limit
I
because we
respect
still talking
Master
about
P,
him.
man.
It's the
Right.
legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Cash Money
I
wouldn't do it.
respect all legacy, man. I think nobody should be like robbed of their greatness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if they was ever able to create it here on earth and like, you know what I'm saying, make it into millions of dollars and make it into household names like No Limit, like,
Right.
they obviously elite for a reason. They obviously deserve to be in the conversation. They smoke out a lot of other groups too, just not this
Right.
one.
Yeah. Cash Money wouldn't do it if No Limit wasn't respectable. So you're right. And I mean,
Exactly.
everyone. Master P is one of the greatest moguls in hip hop history. I mean, he really
Exactly.
he,
100%.
the way he I want to say he damn near influenced the whole independent wave that's going on now. Well, him and Jay Z,
Oh, he
you
did.
know,
He
but
did.
so yeah, man, much respect to know. Hey, man, go quick little shameless plug. Go watch my interview with BG from the Hot Boys I did like 4 or 5 months ago. Y'all go watch that. I want to dive back into football a little bit. Um, quickly, I know you kind of brought it up. So Air Force, they played a good close game against Navy. They lost by three. It was back and forth. You know what's crazy is Air Force has a really explosive offense, which usually they just run that triple option and run it down
Mm-hmm.
your throat. But they've been passing it a decent amount. So that was actually a fun game to watch. Back and forth. Navy's good. I think they undefeated 5 or 6-0. And then also that CU game, they played TCU tough. They ended up losing by 2 touchdowns at the end. The game was closer than that though. But
Yeah,
man,
absolutely was. Absolutely
yeah.
was.
Did you get a chance to watch some of that one?
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of it. I caught a little bit of the back end of it, but then I also started seeing the mistakes on the
Yeah.
back end because it's hard to play a game for a long time and play it good because TCU is a
Right.
good team,
They are.
and that's obviously it's going to be a tough matchup for Sanders. But they came out like I agree. They played tough. They played those guys hard. I just think they just, it's a little bit of crumbling went on at the end, and then it
Yeah.
made it look a lot worse than what it actually was. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If they can get the QB like play I mean, Salter's been decent, but like just follow like give one of those quarterbacks the motivation and the confidence. I think they'll get I want to send my praise out to Sanders too. Deion, he was like sitting down during the game. He got some blood clots, man. As much as like obviously we're both CSU, but you went to CSU. I'm a diehard CSU fan, but I respect how much Dion is able to just keep it going. Like he's
mhm.
still out there on the sideline dealing with all these health issues. Like that shit is so motivating to watch, bro. Like
Mhm.
and you know what I'm saying. I kind of went back and forth with a CSU fan on X. I ain't gonna get too deep into it, but I just feel like he didn't necessarily come at Dion for dealing with the health issues, but I just feel like the timing was kind of not right. And, you know, football and all that aside, like, you show some basic humanity, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I get inspired by seeing Dion and the way he's handling all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just
Yeah,
my little
no,
2 cents on that.
yeah. Shout out Dion, man. Prayers up to him. going through surgery, all that, and everybody been hearing about him going through that thing with the cancer, and
Right.
it's been a tough thing to watch, knowing that like he is like such a big inspiration to those guys out there, and it like and seeing his toughness showing up every single day. Well, every time he can, being out there for those guys during those games, and still being that same person that's pushing life into people while he's fighting for his. Like that's beautiful, and it speaks on his character. It speaks on how those guys fight for him over there. And the only reason we even care about CU games right now is because of Deion Sanders. Like
Right.
it's the truth, like the
Right.
only reason why that team is hanging in there with a TCU team at this very moment right now is because they have a Deion Sanders.
Right.
Like it's just the truth. You can't really get away from that. The guy's changed that culture over there. He's changed that program, made them a talk of college football.
Right.
Made them notable for
Which helps CSU
national
too.
televised games, all that.
It
Just
helped.
by him alone.
Think about how much money CSU made off of the last two Rocky Mountain showdowns. The one on
Mm.
ESPN, I'm pretty sure it was the most viewed college football game that year.
And
And
ever,
then
yeah,
they
it
came
was. It
back to
broke the
Fort
record.
Collins.
Yeah.
Then they came back to Fort Collins the next year. Now I went to that game. You were at, I'm pretty sure you were at
Yeah, I
that
was
game.
there. Yeah,
It was sold out. Like you couldn't fans everywhere. It was crazy.
yeah.
So, as much as we obviously when it's CU week, I can't stand the Bucks, but I mean when they're doing good, it helps them, and shit when we're doing good, it helps them. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like, that's just my opinion, um, but yeah, man, shout to Deion. What do you think about the Broncos, man? That upset win over the Eagles, man. That was crazy. That was
Yeah. Now I
crazy.
was talking about that a little bit while you had dipped out, but I
Yeah.
thought it was crazy, man. Like I was talking about the baby cradle, the face mask grab by AJ Brown at the end of the game. After they fought tooth and nail for it, I think it was a beautiful fall game. Tight, close one, just how the NFL likes it.
Hmm.
Came down to the final possession. They started off rocky. Rocky is
Right.
heck.
Down
You know,
14
um,
in the fourth.
I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I had some parlays on Bo Nix. You know what I mean? Like I had some stuff going on with Bo Nix, and I was like, man,
You
I
good?
need
You're
you to
not
just get
playing
on. I just
anymore.
need you to get on top of it. You know what I'm saying? I just need you to get on your roll, and eventually the offense does that. Find some breaks. Which you obviously need in a game, and they start pulling through, and they obviously got the dub. So I'm proud of them.
Yeah, that was man. That what a game. Me being a Cowboys fan, I'm super happy. I can't stand the Eagles. So
Help Eagles drop another game.
yeah, but
Cowboys,
they look decent. They look decent. We'll see.
man,
They,
that goddamn Dak Prescott, man.
he's looking good.
In
You
the
can't
regular
deny it.
season, man, he stays scorching some stuff up, bro.
Right.
And then on top of that too, you talking about a guy who never has lacked talent at the wide receiver position. Like he's always had a guy, like that allows him to like really do his thing, and he does that with those receivers, from CD to Pickens. Like I even seen like at halftime, Pickens had like what 2 catches or so, 1 catch. I want to say
Hmm.
at half for like maybe like 20 yards or something like that.
Yeah,
I
something
knew
small.
in the second half, just based off like what's going on, I'm like, oh, this guy, he's getting at least getting another 70. It's a
He got that.
halftime. He only got 1 catch. Everybody else eating. Oh, we finna get this big star receiver involved. They always are. You know what I'm saying? Because he always has a great target or two. Yeah, I
Right.
think he's blessed. I think he needs to start winning in the
The
playoffs.
playoffs. Yeah.
He needs to start winning the playoffs. Like we gotta call Dak Prescott name for what I'm saying, for NFC. Championship. We gotta start calling
Right.
him for coming out the wild card. At least like consistently. We shouldn't be relating you to wild card drops.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, cause
Too
that's
good
what
for
it's
that.
been.
Yeah.
Like every time they get opportunity, which is a lot of them that he's had, they're not coming out of those first playoff games. And when they do, it's sad to see the Des Bryants. You know what I'm saying? Drop. So
You gotta bring that up.
you know,
Yeah.
like I remember they got saved that one year when with the Bostic on with the oh wait. I think that was Green Bay versus Seattle.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
Green Bay versus
The one,
Seattle.
the
Yeah, I
Russell
remember
Hail Mary, I
the
think.
onside fumble when the tight end tries to
Oh yeah,
recover the onside over
yeah,
the return, the hands guy. But
yeah.
yeah, man,
I,
y'all y'all got a little bad luck going on out there in Dallas.
yeah,
You
we'll
know,
see what happens. Um, finishing on the Eagles and Broncos. Man, Gilly had me dying. Man, he was so mad. The Philly fans just talking about penalties, and I get it. There's a couple potential iffy calls at the end, but I
the
mean, look at the
Goddard.
Bron. Yeah, look at the Broncos versus the Colts. They called that on the field goal kick that the Colts missed the first try.
Mhm.
They call, what do they call it when you jump over the line or whatever? And they got the re-kick. They win the game. So I mean, it's okay. Sometimes it swings the other way. Sometimes it doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah, you can't. You up 14 in the fourth, and you let the Broncos come back and win. Man, it is what it is. You can't let that happen. Um, and then yeah, as far as the Cowboys, they're 2-1, very mid. Great offense, pretty bad defense. They kind of showed up this week though, but they played the Jets, so it's like, what can you really say? It's not too much. But so we'll see. Like you said, I think if they could just put it together in the playoffs, people will believe. But the Broncos got the Jets this week in London. They're 7.5 point favorites. Um, for the early Sunday game, I think it starts at 7:30. Broncos 3-2, Jets 0-5. Broncos got to win, but they got to be careful too because the Jets are hungry for that first win. They're
Man,
starving.
I
So
think the Jets. I've been a team I've been kind of keeping my eye on a little bit because they can be exciting to watch sometimes. You know what I
Brees
mean?
Hall,
Like they could be a little fun to watch.
Garrett
You
Wilson,
see, they obviously got the defensive pieces, but things aren't kind of
Williams, yeah,
going their way. So they're not a team that we kind of just write off and say like, like that's just an automatic win. Like, no, we're gonna have some good DB matchups. And we gonna have some great defense being played for sure. So we're gonna need Bo Nix to come with his pail, with his lunch pail. We're gonna need him to be a lock in. All of that is not gonna be one of those sweet games for him. It's not gonna be any sweet game for anybody. So, but if we got to keep our eyes on that Justin Fields guy. Make sure we keep him raveled up, and we got to make sure we keep Garrett Wilson on the rope and keep that play calling. Very very vanilla for New York. That's the only way I think you beat that team. But I think they still got their hands full. It's another NFL game.
right.
It's another tough week any given Sunday.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a Broncos 23-20, win by 3, 4, or
Mm-hmm.
they could. I wouldn't be surprised if they blew them out, but I don't know. It'll be a fun one. Uh,
I can see the Broncos taking a nice little 10-point victory here.
yeah,
I can see them taking a nice little 10-point victory, but that's the best case scenario. You know,
yeah,
is a 10-point
mm,
victory. That's a Bo Nix perfect game.
right.
Like in the NFL,
Three
going out doing what
times,
he's supposed to do. The New York Jets are gonna fight back. It's not gonna be not a fight. I hope that's
right.
not what they're hoping and expecting out of the situation, but yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Okay. Real quick, Diddy, he was just sentenced to 4 years, 2 months. I want to say time served, but I'm not 100% sure. Did you have any? I know you kind of brought it up when I was dealing with the technical difficulties, but did you see that? Have any thoughts on that?
I'm sorry. Repeat that one more time.
Did you have any thoughts on Diddy getting sentenced to 4 years and 2 months?
Oh yeah, man. Like I seen some couple things about that. Kind of made me like, all right, I can see why some
You think
people
it's
are
fair?
upset by the sentencing. Saying that like pretty much he's free. Like within some time here, we talking about within a year, we should be
Probably a couple
looking at
years,
Diddy
yeah.
back on the streets. and I saw a funny thing about like them relating him and R. Kelly to each other. You know what I mean?
They made Diddy look so crazy at first, which he is to a certain extent. But go
Mm.
ahead.
I mean, but this is just the truth. This is
Yeah,
just the truth. And people can hate me for saying this, but this is just the truth, man. Those people, regardless of maybe they may not have known what it was going to do for them as an internal being and how it was going to feel for them over time, they made conscious decisions and open decisions to fornicate with this man, to interact with this man, to show up with this man, like allowed themselves to do these actions. I don't think he held anybody at gunpoint. And I think that is the biggest indicator of this whole Diddy trial is that like no one I think was held against their will. I think the biggest person that we all thought was held against their will was Cassie. And when we found out that that woman was not being held by her will,
it's
that
partly
woman
her
was
fault too.
searching. She
Yeah,
was contacting him. Hey,
she wanted that
when is our
money.
next freak off? When is our next this? And we're like, whoa, you tried to play this whole role where you were in love with this man and you couldn't be away from him, play the whole romantic side, the whole domestic, like, that passion with love type of crime thing going on. Okay, that's not what's happening here. Like, you enjoyed being with these other men, you enjoyed these freak offs, you enjoyed these wild climaxes, is what was explained through these text messages. That was like through court documents. Like, so now we're talking about a person who was ultimately looked back at their decisions as a human being and didn't like, ultimately what they saw. So now we're dealing with a lawsuit. I don't think that's always fair. But at the same time, too, as far as the domestic violence side goes of it, the beating, the hotel things, like all those, like, the extortion, him and the hunting down men and all this other stuff like that. Like, that
Kid Cudi.
side, like, I thought should have been made way more prevalent, unfortunately, in the case, but people only cared about one side of that. And that was, just sad to say, like, that was the women's side of the justice. And that's what they predicated it completely on, not paying attention to the men that were harmed in a lot of these different essences. You know what I mean? Like the men who were hunted down, the men who were contacted and told they were going to be killed and all this other stuff.
Kid
Like,
Cudi.
I think that is more like what I've heard that people have had a problem with of that side. But at the end of the day, like, we're talking about Diddy being back on the street. We're talking about, what exactly, caused for this thing and caused for people to raise their eyebrows. It wasn't the things that he was doing that were actually hurting people. It was the things that people ultimately agreed on doing with him and being a part of, and a part of a group, a little society, like that. We all know we're all human beings. We all grown men and women that, can make decisions on their own, and they're making them,
Right.
so
Yeah.
up until this point, at least, like, we haven't had any situations where we talked about Diddy with any minors, at least, like, from what we're
Like what's
seeing.
public knowledge? Yeah, public knowledge.
Yeah, it's all been with adults. So I think from just my moral compass, like, what you do from a sexual side is none of my business. Like, I like, unless it's like we're not harming any animals, like, leave animals out of your little, sick,
Just
demented
some
ways,
furry
you
friends.
know.
Some of them
But as
furries.
far as like when it comes to human being and consent, once the consent is given and people
You don't like a furry?
do gag balls, look, chains, whips, all that
That
stuff.
freaky
I'm
shit.
not into none of that personally. That's not a part of me. I barely like to get scratched. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, some people are into these type of things, and this is just what
Freaky,
they're
man.
doing. And as
Freaky
grown-ups,
Diddy.
as adults, like, let them do their thing. If you don't agree with it, that doesn't always cause for a crime. You know what I'm saying? Being committed because someone doesn't match up with you ideology wise, you know, when it comes to sex. But it is what it is. You know, I think Diddy comes home, and up until, you know, and I just pray that, you know, obviously his release is something that's more positive, and he understands that, and that he moves in a more positive light to truly be loving and truly be caring, you know, to
Yeah,
people for real, and, you know, be a positive impact on society rather than keep that same notion and think that's something to live off of and make it bigger or anything like that. So,
right,
you know, keep his life private, you know, maybe keep a raps on people who, like, you know, maybe tighten up the group a little bit, you know, rather than so large, you know, bring it down a little
right.
bit. So you don't need 2,000 bottles of baby oil,
Yeah,
you know.
you got money. You got money, so just go off
No,
some
bro,
way.
that has to be
That
some
ruined
major
his.
freak offs to need that much baby oil that you don't know what's gonna happen.
No, that's crazy.
No, 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 no. You
He,
got to think about that.
he's
Like,
permanently
you
damaged.
don't know what's about to happen. Let me keep a boatload.
That's
Like
insane.
that's meaning like you could potentially plan on like a
He's
stadium,
thinking about that nonstop.
a stadium worth of baby oil. Like who? What type of crowds are you? Are we talking about having that amount of baby oil on tap? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man,
you
he
know,
got too much money, man. That's some freaky ass shit, man. But
that's a
hey,
one slippery ass party. That's all I gotta say.
oh yeah. But
I wonder if it was on carpet.
he got slides in there, slipping and sliding
Cause I
around.
don't know, you gotta have some shit that stick to the flow. Cause y'all slide around in that much baby oil. Like how much actual shit is going on?
Yeah, man. I can't. I
Like I
can't
just
do it,
want
man.
to like I don't even want to know, but it's like more like damn, like
I just feel like he needs to just because his brand is permanently damaged. Obviously, what happened with Cassie with the hotel B9 is horrible. But hey, he should be feeling blessed that he's not for life. And I'll just take my brand and get freaky with a couple, like you said, close group of people. Get on and go get because
yeah, man. I think he just
yeah,
need to put a little bit more of a cap on the freak offs. You know,
that
like
too.
I'm
Yeah,
not gonna tell nobody what to do. I'm not gonna tell them they can't enjoy stuff when you know there's people out here who enjoy those type of things. Like they're like it's not against the law. And I don't think you know like a human being. I think has every right to make those type of decisions on how they want to like you know go about sex, as long as it's private, as long as it's not you know obviously out in the open and you know exposed to children things like that. Like let people
right,
do whatever they want to do, whatever keeps them raveled up enough to come out in society and be normal and be able to function. You know, we don't need any of these freaks, you know what I'm saying, out on the street acting like they can't be controlled. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the last thing we need. So,
Have you been watching the play? Do you care about the MLB playoffs at all? You be watching it?
man, you know, I haven't been tapped in too heavy right now. I haven't been tapped in too heavy. Uh, So
Cubs down
I've
oh
been
2.
focused real heavy on football. Football's been taking up
Yeah.
a lot of my time. I've been on every team. I've been on the player stats. You know, I've been keeping up with this past what the Bills and that
The Patriots.
Bills and
Yeah.
Patriots game. I
That was a
thought that
good
was a
game.
tough one. I thought that was a real cool game.
Even the Jags and Chiefs. Jags came back. That was a
Yeah.
nice game. That was a
No.
perfect week for the Broncos because
What
all
about
three
the
teams
Chris
lost.
Jones?
What happened with Chris? Did he get injured? I
You
missed that
you haven't
part.
seen the replays of him walking on the field?
Nah, what happened?
While Trevor Lawrence is just kind of like running right by him. He's not even putting in the effort to make the
Oh,
tackle. He has two different clips of him being actually right there, able to make a play on Trevor Lawrence to stop him from both of those touchdowns
that last
that he
touchdown
scrambled
was
on,
crazy. And
and
when he
he
fell,
clearly lacked effort. Clearly didn't put in any effort, And him being the star player that he is, everyone knows how he moves and have seen him move, knows that, like, hey, if you would have just been trying, like, you would have made those plays.
I was
But,
paying attention to Trevor that whole time because he just fell. And I'm like,
man,
oh,
go
yeah, he
back
ain't
and look
making
at
it.
that stuff, bro. It's kind of disturbing to see from a guy that everyone expects so much from. You know, on the football field, we get it. You know, you're upset, the game's close, whatever, but don't act like you don't have a championship mentality, like you don't know this how games go. You know, but I think you've seen a lot of that kind of pouty behavior, shall I say, from my dog. You know, it don't matter if
Yeah.
it's been in the playoffs, when the camera clicks over him on the sideline and him laying on his belly. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always has a bunch of different clips of him kind of just throwing tantrums. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and I'm not talking about those, oh, I'm showing it on the middle of the field, I'm slamming my helmet, this is that. Like, no, it's more like
Just
finger
withdrawn.
pointing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, man, why is offense doing this, or why are we not doing it? Like, what? Like, why? Like, do we constantly have to go through this when we had so much success? Like, you have to be ready to go through some downs too, bro. It's a championship
Right.
team. Everyone's coming out to play you guys. Like, what? What do you think people are gonna show up and do? Give you a
Right.
hard time. So now you're having a hard time. Like, act like you've been there before, because you have 1,000 times, and you come out on top. Like, what's going on?
Right.
Like, you
Yeah.
know, like, it's like kind of gets to a point where, like, bro, like, act like you kind of been there. The same way you act like you had a sack, like you know how to do your touchdown dance. Like act like you know how to deal with adversity. You know what I mean? Act like you know how to deal with certain situations. Like, I don't like the Travis Kelce and, you know, all the little, you know, I get it, have some little disagreements, but you know that's your pops. You
Right.
know that's your dad.
Right.
Like, you
Yeah.
know that's your daddy. With no Andy Reid in your life, there's no Taylor
No
Swift in your
Super
life.
Bowl. There's no
There's no
Super
Taylor
Bowl.
Swift in your life without Andy Reid.
Right. He's one of the greatest coaches all time. Easy.
Exactly. Like, let's be honest. And nobody put you in position like your daddy has. Patrick Mahomes as well.
I love the way the Chiefs run offense and how they scheme. I love it. It's
Exactly.
awesome.
He's
Yeah.
his scheme, his play calling is
Insane. That's why they
like
won the
second to
Super Bowl.
none. Second to none. We talk about
And
all these coaches week in and week out. Andy Reid is the most impressive coach that I've seen in the National Football League I've ever seen in coaching.
especially over the last like 5, 10 years. You know, it was
Nah,
a
man, this
perfect
goes
week.
back to Donovan McNabb, LaShawn McCoy.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Like, bro, he's been a threat. He's been an issue. He's been a
To
problem. Michael Vick. He's been an issue. We
it
talking
was a
about a
perfect
Mike
week for
Vick
the
off the.
Broncos.
We talking about a return Mike Vick. He's been
Right.
an issue. Andy Reid has always been an issue. Only thing that I saw when he got to Kansas City and he got Patrick Mahomes, I said, "Oh, you son of a gun."
Big Red.
That's all he's ever wanted in his life. Is this Tom Brady? That's all he's
Right.
ever wanted. You
And he
got to
got it.
ask me, did I think Andy Reid was going to ever mess up this situation with Patrick Mahomes? I knew he never was.
You're
I
right, because
knew.
I don't think he's ever had a bad team.
No,
Like maybe
he had some good ones, but he's never had no Tom Brady like
right.
we're talking
No,
about
yeah.
groundbreaking like Bill Belichick had. Bill
I meant
Belichick,
like he's never coached a bad team. That's what I meant.
right? He's never
Like
coached a bad team, but he's never had a
like
Tom Brady.
right,
That
right.
was his
Like
thing.
I'm wording it wrong, my bad. Like the teams he's coached, like they've always been good because of him, is what I'm trying to
Right, exactly,
say. Not
100%.
just him, but he's part of it, like a main reason.
Yeah, you're
My
saying it
bad.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. He always had to make those teams. And then, like, it's not like he even, like, okay, the Donovan McNabb was a great quarterback, right? But then, like, he had Terrell Owens. He had, you know, Jeremy Avant. He had a Brian Westbrook. He had
Oh yeah,
great
Westbrook.
pieces. Like, they went to the Super Bowl, you know, did all those other things. Like,
Yeah, they
Andy
won a
Reid
hell of
has
NFC
always
championships.
did his thing. But that's always been his knock, I feel like, to himself. He
Hmm.
said, like, oh man, you know what? If Donovan never would have did that, I never, like, you know what I'm saying? We would have because I called this perfect play. You know, like, you got to know, like, sometimes when it comes down to like just deep inner thought, like, and then especially when you're getting proposed so many great situations, he's coached so many great teams. GMs has always brought him in when they thought they had a great roster. Let's bring in Andy Reid. That's what number one thing you would love to do, even if he's an offensive coordinator. But no one's ever going to do that ever again in their life. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's always Andy Reid has always been the answer whenever they get a prolific offense in the NFL. You know what I mean? For any GM, you know, it's like kind of getting Popovich. You know what I mean? It's like getting like Tom Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we got a great defensive team. We need Tom Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like it's one of those things. Like, so this situation for Andy with Patrick Mahomes, that's like him having the most perfect child he can almost have in the world. Like, it's like him having triplets of 3 of the kids that he said he wanted with all the right names. They all came at the right time at the same time that he signed a $150 million contract. That's what that's like before Andy Reid. Like, that's Patrick Mahomes. He's the gold mine of football for offensive coaches, offensive geniuses. Patrick Mahomes is the blueprint for get your hands on one of these. It's like Andy Reid's shining toy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I've had all of these great quarterbacks in the world, but this one right here, this my boo-boo baby, this my boo-boo baby. Like, that's what I think he feels about Patrick Mahomes. Like, and it's hard not to. It's hard not to feel that way about Patty. Like, you obviously see the greatest. He is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. There's no discussion up for that. Josh Allen is still his son. Still his CJ Stroud, still his son. And we're talking about a guy that's 27, 28. Like, and he already has kids out here. Like, that's sad. I remember when he got the third, I'm like, oh, he has kids now.
Right.
He has grown up kids.
Well, I don't even think anyone else has won a Super Bowl besides Rodgers. Rodgers is at the end of his career. And then who Hurts, I guess. But everyone knows that team around Hurts is the reason the Eagles won. Not Hurts is a good runner.
I don't know, bro. I don't think that's fair to say.
I don't think Hurts is that.
Honestly, bro, like,
he's
watching
solid.
Hurts,
he's a good man.
Honestly, look at this, bro. Hurts is a game manager on steroids.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
He's a game manager. He's the best game manager. He's like the adult version of Alex Smith.
He's gonna win you the
game, but
game.
in a younger body.
Right.
Like prime Alex Smith, like in the Chief days, like going to the red. Like Alex Smith knew what to do with his mental, knew what to do with his legs, knew what to do with his arm. I think that's what we're seeing from Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is Alex Smith 2.0.
I agree.
That's what I see from Jalen Hurts. Makes the correct throw. Throw's going to be on point. It's going to, like, all that. That's going to have, and then guess what? When the pocket breaks down and we need a little 11-yard, 8-yard little run or whatever, what does he do? He puts it down and he runs it, slides, gets back up. What's the next play call? Like, it's very mechanical. Like, you know what I'm saying? What he does out there. Like, and then when he does get a chance and you don't want to tackle and you act like you're just going to hit him, what did Alex Smith used to do? He used to crib him.
Right.
Alex Smith used to crib those things.
He used to run.
And Jalen Hurts is doing the same exact thing. I think that is his comparison. But just when Alex Smith got shadowed by Colin Kaepernick before that Super Bowl, that was Alex Smith's Super Bowl ring. And then Alex Smith goes to the Chiefs.
Came in, yeah. Damn, that's a
good
point.
Hold on, wait. And then he gets snubbed by Patty.
Right.
He got snubbed. Alex Smith was a year away from winning.
At least two.
And you could have arguably been like, this team is only here at this point for this young guy to come take over because you guys thought this team was good because of me. Because the truth is that Alex Smith, Vernon Davis, all that time, Alex Smith was a beast.
He was nice.
He was nice. That you couldn't have put a better quarterback in that position with those
Imagine Alex
guys.
Smith now with the Niners now, because the Niners didn't have all those pieces like they have had, like instead of a Brock Purdy or something.
Like
He
they
probably
needed
would.
a type
Yeah.
of quarterback that was like Alex Smith at the time to have a Frank Gore, the play
Right.
action. He can get out on the boot. He was throwing the ball. He was, oh, I'm tucking this one. Give me that. Like he was a perfect quarterback for that system that they had going on in San Fran. And then all of a sudden, here comes Colin Kaepernick with the 70-mile-per-hour speed balls. Like, you know what
Right.
I'm
He
saying?
had the
Like,
higher ceiling but lower floor. Same with Dak. Dak has a high ceiling but a low floor.
yep.
But Hurts and Smith consistent.
Yeah,
You
Hurts
know.
is a way better game manager than Dak Prescott. Like I think Dak Prescott is a
He has
buzzkill. He
more.
can be a buzzkill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he can be a buzzkill to a team because he can watch the flow of a team, watch the flow of his team, be like, oh yeah, all right, we're up 7 points right now. I'm not throwing a pick. I'm not throwing the dumb ball right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what my coach says. I might get this one-on-one, whatever. Like, no, like, let me keep managing this game. And I think that's what the best quarterbacks do, even when they do have the rocket arm. They do have all the, like, you know what I'm saying, tangibles to do all that. Like, no, it's
Right.
like, no, you know what? Right here is 1st and 10. We're up 10 points already early in the first quarter. You know what? Give me that flat route real quick. You know what I'm saying? Give me my 4 yards. Oh,
Right.
man. No one liked that throw. Buddy came open on the dig. You should have held that ball for a second there in his ear. No, I did the right thing. They believe in that. They come back again. Oh, we're gonna maybe be able to hit this throw right here off the play action. Boo. Here go the check down. I took my check down for 3 yards. Now it's 3rd and 1. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And now we line up, and now we're 3rd and 1, and we got a chance to go get a first down here. We go get it, or like you know what I'm saying, through the air, or we go get it through the run. Boom. Now you line up, and now you do something different for your team. Now it's like, all right, now okay, we're still putting dominance on the team. Some of these guys that come out after being up 7 points, being up 10 points, and go like, all right, now it's time for me to take a shot. We got the lead. Let's try to bury them right here. Like, no, like get more into your groove. Piss the defense off even more. You know what I'm saying? That they coming out, they waiting for a pick. They waiting for you to fuck up. That's what
Right.
that's what defense does. You don't want to talk about that early Packers defense with Charles Woodson, Tramon Williams, and Bigsby in them because they would give you the whole field. They had played cover three like that Seattle team. They had played cover three the whole entire game and say, you know what, keep taking that dink and dunk if you want to. We're gonna give you that, and we're gonna wait for you to put the ball in the air. We're gonna wait for you to try to alley. You're gonna get like a little medium throw, and when you do, we're gonna come up and we're gonna hit everything moving, and we on all tips and overthrows. And then now you looking at a team that leads the league in turnovers
Right.
but they give up the most yards.
Right.
Let the league in yards given up, but turnovers let them. Because
That's
they
what
know
CSU
they
needs to
banked
do.
on the fact that it gets harder in the red zone. It gets
Mhm.
harder further down the field. The head open up middle of the field is always looks real pretty. When we get down to that red zone, we know how that percentage drops from here all the way down here when you get to that red zone. You're better off scoring a touchdown from 30 to 40 out than you are to score a touchdown in the NFL within 15 yards. And I don't think people grasp that.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
now all
all right.
11 of those speedy rocket ships of men that are in that small space are running to the ball now. And now they only have 20 yards to run.
Well, let's wrap it up. We've been going for a minute now.
Oh, yeah,
I d-
no.
you guys, I did want to shout out the Avalanche. They beat the Kings last night, 4-1, I believe, opening night in hockey. Nuggets coming, they around the corner. Um, Cubs down 0-2. First the Brewers they played tonight. Yankees came back, won last night, 1-2. But Dodgers, I think they up 2-0 versus the Phillies. That's pretty much it. CSU, they got obviously Fresno Friday, and then they got Hawaii the week after, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes. We'll come back to y'all next week. Make sure y'all go follow Mile High Minute and Capri on everything. All links are in the description of this live. Hit that like button, comment down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, stay notified when all these news drops. I appreciate y'all. You got any final thoughts? Any last minute things you want to speak on?
Hey man, thanks for tapping in with us. I know it wasn't a minute, but you were my heart man and just free. We out of this thing, man. Everybody have a blessed day.
Appreciate y'all, man. Mile High Man, I'm blogging universe. We out. Cool. Should be ending.